Hello friends, welcome to SAMAMENTOR. Today we are going to discuss about the branches of chemistry in an interesting and a funny manner. I hope that you will enjoy this video. When we talk about chemistry, the question comes in mind that are there any branches of chemistry? So the field of the chemistry, basically it is divided into several branches. But what are those branches? You must be thinking of this. So we are going to discuss it. But before that, let's listen to a story first because stories makes things quite easier and interesting. Basically, the story is of a girl, Sarah. Sarah wakes up in the morning, takes in a deep breath. Her mother prepares breakfast for her using the stove. She boils water for making tea, and after which Sarah comes to the table. She enjoys her breakfast, and her breakfast includes cereals, milk, juice. Her breakfast is really healthy, don't you think so? Okay, next Sarah goes to her school using her school bus. On the way to school, Sarah notices some of the industrial areas where some industrial process is being carried out, and also she notices that this huge smoke is coming out from the chimneys of that industrial area. Class, Sarah was asked by her teacher to perform a titration experiment, which Sarah performs very easily because she has performed it many more times before. After coming to home, Sarah turns on her TV, and on TV she listens to a news about the atomic blast being made in somewhere. So this was the daily routine of a little and cute girl, Sarah, and now we will be using this story to understand the branches of chemistry. So it will be really a fun. Okay, let the story begins where Sarah wakes up and takes in a deep breath, remember? So here basically the field of chemistry which was involved was inorganic chemistry. You guys must be thinking that how? So I am going to tell you. Inorganic chemistry, basically, if we define it, it is a branch of chemistry which deals with the elements and their compounds except the organic compounds. Means that all the elements in this universe except the organic compounds, they come under the field of inorganic chemistry. What are organic compounds? I will be telling about them in my upcoming slides, so just wait for it. So, when Sarah was taking deep breaths, she was inhaling oxygen and was exhaling carbon dioxide. So, basically, oxygen is a compound, carbon dioxide is a compound. They are molecules. So, they come under the scope of inorganic chemistry because I have told you that all the elements and their compounds except organic compounds come under the scope of inorganic chemistry, right? Also, the table salt which you use to make your food spicier and more delicious for you to make it enjoyable. It also comes under the scope of inorganic chemistry. Also, the knives and the forks and spoons made of silver we use for eating food, they also come under the field of inorganic chemistry because silver is being used in their manufacture and the silver is an inorganic compound, right? Okay, next comes that Sarah's mother cooks breakfast for her using stove. The stove was burning fire and the fire was burned there because of gas pumped into the stove. You know, like Suinogen gas or like that. There are stoves in everyone's house, so everyone know about it. So basically the gas which was being used for burning fire in the stove, this was an organic compound. So he was using organic chemistry here. What is organic chemistry? Have any idea? Organic chemistry is a branch of chemistry which deals with the substances containing carbon. So all the carbon containing compounds, they come under the scope of organic chemistry. Also, it is evident of the fact that carbon containing compounds are so numerous and vast that scientists had to prepare a separate branch for studying them. But there is an exception here which you guys must remember. What is that? That the carbonates and the bicarbonates and oxides and carbides, they although contain carbon, but they are studied in inorganic chemistry. This is an exception here. Carbonates and bicarbonates, where do you see them? Yes, the cold drinks you drink and are very favorite of you, they contain the dissolved carbon dioxide in the form of carbonates and bicarbonates. That's why they are called as carbonated food drinks. Also, carbonated fruit drinks we enjoy. Also, we have carbon dioxide, which we exhale in our breathing. We have carbides. So they do not come under organic chemistry, although they are containing carbon, right? Other applications are the paper which we use for writing. It is made of organic compound. Also, the soap which is used for cleaning purposes. It is made of organic compound. The nail polish, the favorite of girls, it also come under the scope of organic chemistry because it consists of the chemical compounds which are organic compounds, carbon containing compounds, right? Also, I have another interesting thing which must be favorite of most of you. What's that? Yes, diamonds. The precious diamonds. They also are the allotropes of carbon and they come under the scope of organic chemistry, right? And the candle wax, that's also an organic compound. So these are some daily life applications where you see organic chemistry into action, right? The next, I told you what was the story. Sarah's mother was boiling water in a pan. So the water, when it was boiling, it was converted into vapors, as you can see in the figure as well. Means that water was being transformed from one state, that is the liquid state, into another state, vapor state. So here Sarah's mother was using physical chemistry. What is physical chemistry? Have you any idea? Physical chemistry is a branch of chemistry which is dealing with the laws and the theories to understand the structure as well as the changes of the matter. Like, what are the components of that matter? What is matter? Anything occupying space and has mass. So what is the structure of that matter and how it changes from one state to another? States of matter, like water, we have three popular states: solid, liquid, gas. So when water changes from solid to liquid, liquid to gas, like ice to water, water to steam, or cases like that, including the changes of the state, they come under the scope of the physical chemistry. Let's discuss few applications. So when the ice melts, as I have already told, it is an example of physical chemistry application. Moreover, have you noticed your car windscreens on a foggy day in the winter nights? Yes, it appears like the one I have attached in the figure here. So basically why it happens, it is because the water vapors in the air, they are condensed into the liquid form because of the low temperature. So here again there is a change of the state from the gaseous state of the water vapors to the liquid state of the drops on the windscreen. So here also physical chemistry is occurring. Moreover, you might have seen this figure which I have shown now. This is basically a structure of the sodium chloride, the popular table salt you use in your everyday life. So it is a cubic structure consisting of atoms arranged in this manner. So the details of this structure, they are also studied in the physical chemistry, because I told you that it deals with the structure as well as the changes. So both are included in this. I hope it's clear to you. Next, returning back to our story, after cooking this breakfast, Sarah was about to eat the breakfast, right? So, what here she is using? She is using biochemistry. What is biochemistry? You might be familiar with it a bit. Biochemistry, bio, life, chemistry, something related to chemistry. So basically, biochemistry is a branch of chemistry. It includes the physical as well as the chemical changes which are occurring inside the living organisms. The living organisms, including the human beings or the animals or insects or the microorganisms, every living organism. The physical processes and the chemical changes which are occurring inside them, they come under the scope of the biochemistry. Like the food we eat, the changes it undergoes in our digestive tract, the juices and the acids which are being released by our stomach and intestine, and how they work to break down the food into the small chunks and then they get into our bloodstreams and all that, they come under biochemistry. The structure of our DNA, the heredity molecule, the proteins, carbohydrates, their nutritional values, importances, and all that, this comes under the scope of biochemistry. So it's really interesting. Now, next in the story, Sarah was going to her school on school bus, and on the way to school, she noticed some industrial areas. Remember? So here, the branch of chemistry which was involved was industrial chemistry. Yeah, right. Now, what is industrial chemistry? Industrial chemistry is basically the branch of chemistry dealing with the methods and the use of the technology in the large scale production of useful substances. Like the substances which we use in our daily life, they are being manufactured in chunks and large bulks to be used by such a massive number of people. So how it occurs, its control processes and all the reactions occurring, controlling of conditions and all that in the industrial sector, it comes under the scope of industrial chemistry. So it's really interesting branch. Like the paper which we use, it is manufactured in such a huge units, and this is just one of those units. So it is the paper industry. Moreover, we have the fertilizer industry for growing of crops. We have got the favorite of everyone, ice cream industry, and many more industries. And the manufacturing and the control of these processes, they all occur under the scope of industrial chemistry, right? Next, returning to our story again, we have got the picture of industry here, because while discussing industry, I told you 2 points. One thing was the industrial processes occurring there, and the second thing, what do you think it might be? Yes, the smoke expelling from the chimneys of the industrial area. This is another branch of chemistry, and this is the environmental chemistry, which is dealing with the environment. What is environmental chemistry? Environmental chemistry is that branch of chemistry which is dealing with the chemicals and toxic substances which are polluting the environment, and how they are adversely affecting the human beings, how we are making our environment worse and worse for us by making disastrous changes to it. This comes under the scope of environmental chemistry. So, can you think of few popular examples where environmental chemistry is involved? Yes, global warming, the rise in the temperature of the earth occurring in few years, resulting in the climatic change. This occurs under environmental chemistry. Moreover, yes, another popular example, ozone hole. This also comes under the scope of environmental chemistry. And also the acid rain, which is quite disastrous for the crops and everything. This also comes under the scope of environmental chemistry. Okay, next. Okay, do you remember what Sora was doing next after going to school? Yes, she was doing the titration experiment in her laboratory. Okay, do you remember what Sarah was going? Uh-huh. Do you remember what Sarah was doing after going to school? Yes, she was doing the titration experiment in laboratory. So, what do you think that which branch of chemistry is being used here? Any guess? Yes, it's analytical chemistry. What is analytical chemistry? Analytical chemistry is that branch of chemistry which is dealing with the methods and the instrumentations which are required for determining the composition of matter. Like it tells about the states of the matter, like the melting point, boiling point, weight of a given sample of matter, and all that analytical procedures which are used for the analysis basically. They come under this branch. So the various procedures which are being used for the calculations, including the titration methods as well as measurement of the boiling points, and many more methods are there available. UV visible spectroscopy and much more advanced techniques you will come to know later. And these all come under the scope of analytical chemistry. Right? Okay, coming back to our story of Sarah. At the end of the day, Sarah was watching TV and she heard about an atomic blast. Now, this is very easy. You can easily guess which branch of chemistry is this. Do you think so? It's related to atomic blast, some nuclear sort of thing. Yeah, right. It's nuclear chemistry. So basically, if we define nuclear chemistry, nuclear, like it's related to the nucleus of the atom. So the branch of the chemistry which is related, which deals with the changes occurring in the atomic nuclei. It is basically the nuclear chemistry. So every changes which are occurring in the nucleus, as we know that atom is composed of nucleus and the electrons revolving around the nucleus. This is very easy thing. So any change which is occurring there in the nucleus, this comes in the scope of nuclear chemistry. And the nuclear chemistry have got very broad and disastrous applications as well, like the nuclear power plants. They are used for various purposes like generation of electricity and fuel, etc. And also the disastrous atomic bombs, the famous atomic bomb at Hiroshima and Nagasaki in Japan. This was all about nuclear chemistry, which had a disastrous impact on the lives of many people. So this all comes under the scope of nuclear chemistry, and all this change they are occurring by just altering the properties of the nuclei. So you know how massive it is and how interesting it is. So this was nuclear chemistry, and that was all about the branches of chemistry. I hope you will have enjoyed it, and thanks for watching. For more videos, follow us on our channel. If you have any queries, you can ask in the comment section, and also follow us for the more informative content and updates. Thanks.